Hello, this is SPD-470 Clinical Field Experience D Intervention and Implementation. Prompt 1 response. The class profile of students that we chose for the activity was in a math seminar for students who need Tier 2 and Tier 3 math support. Student A challenges. The student often comes to school tired. They try to sleep in class and sometimes refuse to do work. They usually wait until the last few minutes to attempt assignments and are currently failing. Interventions. We did preferential seating, one-on-one instruction, checking on the student throughout an activity, reducing distractions, repeated directions and asking questions to ensure understanding. Student B challenges. They felt that they were not good at math, or not good at any math. They only try to work when they were close to the teacher for help. Interventions, one-on-one instruction, kept the student close to the preferred staff, close to the teacher, repeated directions, asked clarifying questions, and provided positive verbal support to keep the student going. Student C challenges. The student was very shy. Sometimes they create their own way to solve problems, but it only works sometimes, which leads to misunderstanding of concepts. Intervention. Speak softly to help them feel comfortable. One-on-one instruction. Repeat directions and offer positive feedback. Prompt 2 answer. Overall, the students performed reasonably well during the math activity, although there is still room for improvement, which is completely fine. For example, the majority of the students needed to go step by step with the teacher. None of them seemed to fully grasp the activity without repeating directions and going back to ensure everyone was on the same page. It was enjoyable to watch the students learn how to play a popular board game like Battleship, but with a math twist. My mentor often had to work closely with student B because he relied heavily on the teacher. I'm assuming for mental support. Whenever I try to assist him, he will request the teacher's help and say I'm only waiting for I need the teacher. Which I respected, not to set the student off for causing any conflict in the class. Student C was more open to my assistance, but often only responded by shaking her head to my prompts. When I moved on to check on the other students, she would start daydreaming or doodling on paper, I noticed. The best support strategies in place with the group included one-on-one help, repeating directions until the students showed understanding, and maintaining proximity control. Overall, one change I would suggest is conducting a class like this with a ratio of one staff member for every student. This approach will help students feel more comfortable working alongside the educator, allowing the teacher to move easily and address the non-preferred behaviors and ensure that all students receive support simultaneously instead of favoring one student over another. Prompt 3. For students that need strategies at home, for the most part, students need to build confidence and often disengage from preferred activities when the paraprofessional or the teacher was not working with them. For home practice, I would recommend that students practice reading math problems in front of a mirror or record themselves for 10 minutes to help them build self-confidence. For those who struggled with independence, I would suggest that parents get involved by encouraging their children to practice cooking dinner, for example, or reading a recipe, and to only seek help when they are unsure of what to do. Last prompt. Based on my observations on the activity with my mentor, I believe that it is important to support students who stand out and need help getting back on track regularly, regardless of whether they are tired, sleepy, easily distracted. It is my responsibility as an educator to ensure that they have the tools and strategies necessary to succeed. Just because a student starts the period sleeping or displaying little interest doesn't mean that we should let them fall further behind until they find themselves in a situation they can't recover from. I change my approach to presenting the lesson, or I can change my support. I can change my approach to presenting the lesson. For example, dangling a carrot in front of the students so that we can explore topics that genuinely engage them. Additionally, I can reach out To my administration team or school counselors, seek additional support for helping students in need, especially if my own strategies aren't effective. That is the end of clinical field experience D. Thank you.